Sequilibrium, sequilibrium. Two guys sound like they're sucking helium. Sequilibrium, sequilibrium. Sitting on their freaking bums.
Bit by bit, one way or another. Fletch is working overtime, Chad. Fletch is working at Sequilibrium today, Chad.
Sure is.
Welcome to Sequilibrium. My name's Mike.
Chad.
I'm looking you dead in the eye, and I feel like I'm like creepily staring at you from
Kind of
across
are.
the bar or something.
Yeah.
My name's Mike. If you could come up with a character like Fletch does on the cuff, what would your name be?
Chad, because I feel like I'm somewhat of a Fletch myself, if I'm being honest.
Well, I also feel like Chad's an unbelievable name for somebody too. Like, what's your name? Oh, my name's Chad. Sure it is. You don't look like a Chad. You look like a Brad. Yeah, I love Fletch. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. Is this your first time watching Fletch?
Yep. Well, I do remember, oddly enough, I remember the final scene, like the culmination of the story when they're in the room. He's got the gun.
Yeah,
his wife's there.
The dude from Animal House.
I do remember that for some reason.
Something your wife said when we were in bed. And then he gives him that look.
Yeah.
Did you not see all those funny jokes?
Of course. Did I not see? Of course.
Did you not hear how fucking great they were?
And I gotta say, they were.
Oh, good.
I enjoyed this movie way more than I thought I was.
Really? You were going in with, like, this movie's going to be shit. Mike likes garbage movies. That's it.
Very low expectations based off what you've presented to me in the last year.
I mean,
yes.
I butchered all of those lines when I presented them to you. There's no way I'm going to deliver them in the way Chevy Chase could deliver them.
Do you want to hear the first line that actually made me laugh out loud?
Yes, I do.
And it's one I wish I would have used on our boss prior to him becoming our boss.
Okay.
And it was
I love your body, Larry.
No. Don't talk to me like that, ass face. I don't work for you yet.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doped up right now? Hey, don't talk to me like that, ass face. I don't work for you yet. Ted Nugent. I love those lines. Do you have rubber gloves? No, I rent with the least option to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Really good stuff.
Such good stuff.
I mean, and it's the humor of the time, too. You know?
Definitely that was 80s movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was 80s
Even
comedies.
when you're talking like Naked Gun and things like that, Airplane.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Be.
Beverly Hills Cop. They're doing bits through the entire movie. Right. My favorite will always be the Babar. Mm-hmm. My favorites, God, there's just so many to pinpoint what would be a favorite about Fletch as far as like character wise or like scene wise, even like his interaction with his lawyer when he's like, hey, look, Ed McMahon may have already been a winner and I lost. Right.
I'll read my own rights.
It's so fucking great, and it's so it's just so funny. It's just so classic. And so I'm excited to see what John Hamm's going to do as Fletch. So I'm also excited to see what you think about this sequel.
I'm worried about how excited you are for Confess Fletch.
Do you think it's going to suck?
I don't know if it's going to suck, but just calm
down. Do you think
down.
I'm putting like too much emphasis?
You're like,
or too
it's
much
going to be
excitement?
awesome. That's what you said the other day.
I know. Like,
it's going to be awesome.
When he was on the phone with Frank, and I was like, Frank's bald. That's not Frank. That's his boss from Mad Men. That's bullshit. And then the more I watched it and the more that I read, like, the movie is supposed to be an adaptation of the book, not a continuation of the Chevy Chase movies.
Okay.
So you have to go into it loving the character Fletch, not so much as Chevy Chase's portrayal, but just the character itself.
Yeah.
I never read the book, so it kind of makes me feel like a really shitty Fletch fan, like I'm phoning it in and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to read one of the books before it comes out in 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Or at least get one started.
Yeah.
just so I can get the feeling of the literary version of Fletch versus Chevy Chase's version of Fletch. Now, from what I hear, they're perfect, almost like they're like Chevy Chase did it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm really hoping like John Hamm can deliver some of those fantastic lines. Also, I'm really hoping for references to Fletch, Chevy Chase's Fletch.
Sure.
In Fletch Lives, there's mentioned to a previous from Fletch, which is rad because it almost seems like Fletch Lives is just kind of like one of those like, you know, oh, it's another story. But they they put something in that movie to branch the two together. And I don't want to give it away what it is.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited.
One of my other favorite scenes from Fletch is during the smog emissions test scene when that guy's like, "You're gonna take me to jail? Why? Because I stole this car." When he was like, "Hey, Freddie, how's the herpes?" Oh my God, I'm butchering the line. I'm not delivering it the same way Chevy Chase does, but it's so fucking funny. It's just such. It's not. There's no punchline. The punchline is that he doesn't know this guy, and it's fucking great. And he's just talking to him like he was Fred the Dorfman when he was fucking hiding in that running from the cops and shit. Yeah. Oh, it's such a joy watching it. It's so funny. Now, I wrote down all the Fletch personas all the characters that he played. That's my grocery list.
Let's not overlook the fact that he was basically doing stunts in this movie as well. Him jumping up on that ladder and climbing.
Oh yeah, running away from everybody.
Pretty good physical comedy.
Punching the fucking Tommy Lasorda picture. Like, can you come on? I'm not intimidated by you whatsoever. Oh, you and Tommy Lasorda. I hate Tommy Lasorda. And he punches it. Yeah. Not fucking intimidating. You're Fletch. Get out of here.
Right.
Dr. Rosenpenis. Dr. Rosenite. I love that. That scene too was so fucking funny when he looked at the directory and saw all those Rosenbaums.
And the doctor's examining him.
Using the whole hand there?
Yeah, using the whole fist.
Do you own any? Or do you have any children? No. Elephant books.
Yeah. See, now I almost
so good.
I almost thought that what would have made that even better, and I was waiting for it, was when he said, "No, elephant books." And then I thought there was going to be a pause, and he was going to say, "And children."
Oh, no.
Or children.
So great.
Yeah.
When he was talking about the ant, and he's like, "Grace or Joan? Which one is it then?" Or whatever. I can't remember what that guy said. That's
Can I borrow your towel for a minute?
Yeah.
Fucking great.
My car's dirty. Can I borrow your towel? Oh man, yeah. Did you tell me who your favorite version of character that Fletch portrayed in the movie?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't tell me. Who was your favorite?
Well, read them off. Read them off. You got the list.
So you got Ted Nugent.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got John Tolstoy. Then you got Mr. Poon, Igor Stravinsky, who was a real person, and then Gordon Liddy and Don Corleone.
I mean, I'm forced to just go with Ted Nugent.
The beginning when he's talking to a dude from Animal House.
Yeah, just because. There's a reason Chevy Chase was as successful as he is. We won't go outside of his career and talk about what an asshole I hear he is.
I know. That's such a bummer.
But he's a very charming actor.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe this movie is that it's super charming.
Yeah.
Like Fletch as a character is very witty, very charming. Totally.
Like I said, see a little bit of myself in Fletch.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I want to get myself a Fletch Laker jersey because he was selling them for a minute, and I never bought one.
Was it all worn out?
Oh, what do you mean? Like
who was selling them for a minute?
Chevy Chase.
Oh yeah, well, that's what I mean. Didn't you notice his jersey was like all fucking worn out? The collar
that
was all
jersey.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about when he was when he's 6 foot 6'4" with the afro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when he was doing that
Right.
daydream. I love that one too.
Yeah.
This one has so many funny ones too. Fletch Lives, different characters that he portrays. My favorite's Claude Henry Smoot. I can't wait to hear what you're gonna say after you see it. Oh yeah, and I totally forgot to tell you, the guy who did the music for Beverly Hills Cop did the music
Shut the
for
fuck
fucking
up.
Fletch.
No, I don't believe it.
Swear to God.
Don't believe it.
Look it up.
Wow.
It's awesome.
It's crazy.
So I found
See,
that.
and I would say, I mean, I like Fletch way more than Beverly Hills
Do you
Cop.
really? I do too. I think Fletch is funnier. I think Beverly Hills Cop is an action comedy, while this is just a straight up suspenseful comedy.
But I like Eddie Murphy better than I like Chevy Chase.
Totally opposite.
Really?
Totally opposite.
Huh.
I mean, I do like the 80s Eddie Murphy, as I said in the Beverly Hills Cop episode, but like Chevy Chase has never done anything I don't like. I'm so excited for like pretty much any Chevy Chase movie that I watch.
Yeah.
What has he done that's maybe bad? I know he was on like one of those Law and Order episodes. He was portraying Mel Gibson in like a
Really?
crime. Yeah.
Huh.
It was really funny. I remember seeing the comparison of like what Mel Gibson said and then what Chevy Chase said in the episode. Like sugar tits when he's talking to the female cop.
Oh, interesting.
I love Pierce in fucking Community. He's awesome. Fucking Nothing But Trouble. Spies Like Us.
See, I probably haven't seen a good handful of Chevy Chase
Vacation movies. All the vacation movies. Funny Farm. God, I know he's done like so many more. Fucking Dirty Work as the doctor with a gambling problem.
Was he in Rat Race, or was he pretty much done at that point?
I think it was pretty much done at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he may have been doing stuff. That was what, early 2000s?
No, that was like 97.
Oh, well, he's definitely doing stuff. Yeah. Rat Race. That was Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, like
Seth
Mr.
Green,
Bean was
Mr.
in it.
Bean, yeah. God, who else? Whatever. That wasn't even this movie or that movie that we're doing.
What was that one movie where it was kind of a parody of some of the alien movies that were out at the time, like Independence Day and shit like that? Fuck.
Was he in one of those dumb fucking movies?
I feel like it. I
Like,
feel like he was.
what was some of the bullshit that they did? The fucking like super movie or whatever. Like the first two scary movies were great. After that, all those fucking parody movies, get the fuck. They're just so fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Date movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I mean, it had
God.
its moments. Don't get me wrong. I think all those movies have their moments, but very few of them are good all the way through.
Charlie Sheen is in Scary Movie 5
Oh, yeah,
or
that's
something.
right.
Like that's when they became a joke about themselves.
Yes.
Like the first two were great. Were so funny. David Cross is in the second one.
Yeah.
As him and his like fucking constant argument with Chris Elliott. Like he's like, hey, let me give you a standing ovation. Or like, yeah, you know. I'm like saying the lines and you're like, yeah, I know. Take my hand. It's my good one. I know.
I mean, I've probably only seen that movie once or twice, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we could go down that. That's a sequel.
Yeah. That is.
Right? I mean,
Sequel.
it's, yeah.
Scary movie, too.
And they rolled up,
It's not really a continuation.
not really. It
No.
just has two in the name.
Yeah. Which works for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're okay with that. Gina Davis, were you surprised by that?
I was happy with it. Gina Davis. I always liked Gina
I know,
Davis.
right?
I mean, from the first time I saw her in Beetlejuice.
How about
hey,
How about the name Larry?
the name Larry?
That's her name.
Oh, strange.
I know. I always thought it was so weird as a kid, but it worked so well when he was on the phone and he's like, "I love your body, Larry," and the lady turned around. That's that movie. Seriously, if you've seen Fletch, it's just basically redoing the lines with the person who has seen it, and you're just giggling about it together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what more is there to go into depth? Like, oh, the juxtaposition of the character and the moral ambiguity he has to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Fletch is breaking the law as an investigative journalist, breaking into that real estate office and taking pictures of classified documents. And here's a picture of my hotel, and here's my car.
Yeah. Oh, I love that part too. And he's like, as you can see here, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and if this is legible,
which you would know if it were legible. Which you'd be able to see or whatever. This is gonna be a podcast of us butchering Chevy
lines.
Chase's lines.
Maybe that's what the podcast should be, like the title. We're just gonna switch it to like Chad and Mike ruin movies.
Fletch butchered.
Like it's like watching a movie with someone. Oh, you should watch this. It's my favorite movie, and then they just quote the lines 2 seconds before they're delivered,
Right.
to prove that they love it. They're like, oh, you got to make sure you know.
Right.
But you get every word wrong.
Yeah.
You know, basically it's the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's watch Fletch Lives.
Let's do it.
Let's see what
I
you
feel like
think.
we're leaving a whole bunch out of the
what?
first one.
Of what?
It was great. It was pretty damn good. What's your rating on the first?
Oh, 7.5.
I'm right there with you.
Probably an 8, but 7.5. It's fucking great. George Wendt, awesome. Fat Sam sitting there. He has his own little burger shack. Like, where did you get the money to buy the name? Like, eventually you switch to drugs and then you let your fucking burger stand to go to shit.
Right.
And I mean, it looks like you're still getting deliveries too when Fletch goes and sits down.
Yeah.
What do you say, Gummy?
Hey, there is one thing I just remembered. Why? I mean, sure, he had the same. According to them, I mean, you could see with your own 2 fucking eyes that it wasn't the case, but they had the same structure, and that's why he chose him. But how did he really target him?
Well, he said he's been watching the beach for several weeks,
and
he says that, you know, I've been watching you and how you carry yourself, blah blah blah. And that's pretty much it. He's just been scoping him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already into dealing drugs on the beach. So he's like, here's someone who is going to be disposable. Mm-hmm. And he's like tall just like me. He's, you know, broad shoulders. I mean, it's not exact measurements, but it's going to be good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, would you trust Gummy to show up and murder you?
Right.
You know, or fucking was Royce or Reese or whatever, that 19-year-old, all of a sudden he's got shit and he's just throwing fucking sand. Like, would you expect that guy to fucking?
He was cool.
You know?
That was a cool character.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like some moments in the movie that weren't always so funny. You know, you're not taking very good care of yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, shit like that. Like when he interacted with him. But when he interacted with like the other ones, it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, but you were right. I mean, the lines, it was just one after another, and I didn't think they were going to be as funny as they were. Mm-hmm. But I also forgot how much I love, again, the comedy that was out at that time, you know? Just little stupid things like when he's talking to the waiter, and the waiter's like, oh, we do have caviar, sir, but it's, you know, $80 per serving or whatever. He's like, oh, yeah, well, I guess I'll only take 2 then.
Yeah. What are you doing under the bed? Sorry, I have to pull rank. Yeah. There are no tags on these mattresses.
Yeah. Or when he's like, oh, I was looking into this house, you know?
Oh, yeah. I was this close to buying it.
Yeah. I should frame mine, too.
And then when the maid comes up to him and says something in Spanish, and he goes, "Poken taco," or whatever.
Anyway, fucking Fletch Lives.
That is literally Fletch. I can't wait to get into the other side of Fletch with Fletch Lives.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it, man.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What about like such an iconic theme in a movie next to Beverly Hills Cop 2? Like that fucking composer struck gold with memorable fucking tunes that just get stuck in your head. Like it's seriously, those tunes are straight up double your pleasure, double your fun. Like that's that shit. They just seriously knew how to get stuck in your fucking head with the right notes.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. They may have worked for these movies, but it's also the kind of shit that would be used for shitty movies as well. I mean,
like the kind of like you buy the song on the internet.
You're not rocking out in your vehicle to
when they announced when I first saw Confess Fletch trailer that day at work. I listened to the Fletch Live soundtrack probably 5 times.
What?
Yeah.
5 times.
And it's seriously straight up a different version of the same tune every time.
What do you mean?
Like the do 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 do.
Oh, you mean for every song, every track?
Every track was that version, but with like a little beep beep, you know, like when he's investigating and the music's. Are
you trying to drive yourself crazy?
I mean, it sounds like it. Like, who the fuck listens to that? Who wants to listen to that? You know what I mean? Like, I got it for free on Spotify. Who went out to a fucking record store in 1989 to buy the Fletch Lives original soundtrack?
I know. I want to know the number of downloads that's had on Spotify. Does it tell you?
Yeah, it tells you monthly listeners. So for Harold Faltermeyer, the guy who did that song, he's got 2,178,000 monthly listeners.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and he also did Top Gun too. Do 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 in the beginning of before fucking Danger Zone took over. Yeah, he's done other things. I mean, clearly he's done other things. Oh, he did the Running Man soundtrack. It doesn't tell you how many plays specifically for the Fletch songs, but his most popular song is the Top Gun theme. That has that one.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It is a good one. It's fucking fantastic, dude. I mean, even on the Nintendo game, that's the opening song, and it sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
I mean, but polyphonic sounds back then, were basically
it's still cool.
It's still awesome. So yeah, to me, this music, listening to it while I was working, how long is it? It'll tell you. It'll find. Oh, and there's only one fucking song that has words. And it's the fucking weird rock quote song that they were listening to in the bar. The song is Kings of the Road. 34 minutes, 21 tracks. Picture a bunch of bikers wearing a fucking shock troop helmet with a rebel flag and a swastika in the middle, dancing to this. With each other, too. Almost reminiscent of the Police Academy Blue Oyster Bar.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is one I'm never gonna watch again.
Here's the Kiss song. When Fletch is kissing Becky. That's a song on this track. I listened to that probably 5 times.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is not. I told you, dude. It's not as good as the first one. It's so weak.
No, I
in comparison to the first one,
I wouldn't give this any more than a 3. Whereas the first one, I'm pushing an 8.
I'm giving it
crazy. Now it's making me question the first watching this.
I'm giving this one a 6 because it's pure nostalgia, but it's so fucking slow. The investigation is so slow in comparison to the first one.
It's not as witty.
It is an original story because apparently Gregory McDonald, I don't know. McDonald is the writer. I can't remember his name. Like I said, I've never read the books. Yeah, Ronald McDonald. Good one. Good one. You're so funny. Gregory McDonald wrote like 9 books, and I think the first Fletch was a book. Was the book. So this one I read on the trivia that the movie studio wrote their own story instead of using one of the books. So that could be why it's not as good as the first one. I definitely have like great attachment to Fletch moments in this movie. Like all the times I was like, this part, Chad, this part's so funny. You'll like this part.
Yeah.
You know, every fucking time there was that Claude Henry Smoot, and you know that's my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, that was my favorite Fletch moment in this one. They told me to tell you your house is on fire. Bless you for believing that shit.
Yeah.
But as far as the first one goes, the first one is far superior in every aspect other than it being the first one.
Agreed.
I remember watching this for the first time at my grandma's house, and I remember my mom being jealous and saying how Chevy Chase probably never had a zit in his life because he's got such perfect complexion. And I was like, at that moment, I feel like my mom was like crushing on Chevy Chase. Like almost like, because she's the reason why I love Fletch. She was the one who introduced me to Fletch.
Okay.
We watched Fletch together. My dad introduced me to some movies. My mom definitely introduced me to more comedies. My dad was more action.
Yeah.
So I think my mom was more into like comedians from Chicago. She loved Belushi.
That's
She
cool.
loved Animal House.
Yeah.
She loved Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And a lot of those people came from Chicago. And it's like she's from Chicago. So I'm like, I wonder if when she was like 13, when she left Chicago, I wonder if she was like following these people when she was younger.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, this movie isn't quite as bad as you feel it because I have these attachments.
Well, back to that though, my it's weird because my love for movies is really a product of the time I was growing up more than my parents, because even my mom, I've spoken about how my dad was never really into movies. I mean, I remember watching some with him, but none that stand out. He definitely didn't record them and like write titles on the.
Didn't take the time to write
no. So
cut the
and then-
spine and slide it into the sleeve.
yeah, my mom was kind of the same way. I remember. It's funny. I'm sure if I thought hard enough, I could remember watching several movies with my mom, but there was one moment from a movie that I distinctly remember my mom just like laughing out loud, and it was something that I didn't understand at the time. I don't think I've mentioned it on the
No,
podcast.
you haven't.
But it's that moment in the movie Dumb and Dumber
Mhm.
when Jeff Daniels says, you know, you just can't find a decent job in this town. And Jim Carrey says, yeah, not unless you want to work 40 hours a week. And I remember my mom just laughing, and I didn't understand it when I was a kid. You know, made no sense to me. But
I pissed my dad off.
what do you mean?
That line.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how
I
funny.
remember watching it and him being like thinking that was so stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Kids today.
Well, that's weird. We both have a memory of that.
Yeah. Oh shit, dude. I remember going to my first dance in junior high, 8th grade, came home and my parents had rented it. Yeah.
I remember I think it was Independence Day of like, it's probably 95 or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was before the fireworks show.
That's
We
when
were
you watched
watching
it? Nice. Yeah.
So some of the friends, they were getting ready. Us kids were just sitting there.
And she thinks
being
it's
dumb.
so funny that they
So
don't want to
funny.
work 40 hours a week.
So funny. Like I'd
Can
never
you believe that's so
like I'd never heard my
absurd.
mom quite laugh like that before, especially at something on the television.
Well, to bring in Animal House, my mom's saying that was her favorite movie, and then when I'm watching it, I think I watched it without them for the first time, and the scene when dude is with the girl who works at the fucking grocery store, and then she passes out, and then the devil and the angel pop up, and they're like, fuck her brains out. And I'm like, my mom likes this movie? My mom even knows what those words mean?
Yeah, I've been
I
in
don't
those
get
moments
that.
before. Yeah.
And then at the end when he's like, and then the girl's like introducing him to her father, and she's like, this is the boy that molested me.
Right.
My mom thought this movie's funny. I mean, I do. I think it's hilarious.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I remember more like Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, that was my grandma.
Quantum Leap.
That was my mom.
And what was the other one? MacGyver.
That's weird. Your mom had the hots for MacGyver. That's why she watched that.
But see,
shit.
I really don't remember my mom watching it, but I know that's why I have memories of those shows. It has to be.
Yeah.
I wasn't a kid just like, what's this Quantum Leap?
I remember watching What's Happening on my own, like making the decision to watch I love Rerun.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I mean, yeah, old shit. Like, I feel like your parents, my parents, your parents, the things that they've done for us for movies and stuff, they may not have introduced us to everything, but they introduced us to the medium, to the door that led us to this. I mean, like, I'm fucking 10 years old walking to the movies all the time with my friend Nathan, going to see shit, like and I wasn't 10, I was like 11 or 12, but I loved movies. And I think that's where it all stemmed from, was just watching movies with them. Doesn't matter what it is. I went and saw Sister Act 2. I paid my own money to go see Sister Act 2, so it's just like, I don't give a fuck what it is. I love movies. Yeah. But granted, I still haven't seen Casablanca. Or even Gone with the Wind in its entirety.
I
Sound of Music.
I kind of remember being excited for Sister Act 2.
Sister Act 2
when
was
I was
fucking
real
dope.
little.
Yeah.
Because you had already seen Sister Act.
And then,
came on TV all the time.
And you really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you saw that poster, it's like, oh my God.
Back in the Habit.
They're making a second one?
I know.
They do that?
And the pun title was so perfect with Back in the Habit.
Yeah.
Because that's what the outfit was called.
Right.
I remember my mom having to explain that to me.
Yeah.
Back to Fletch.
Fletch.
Seeing this, how do you feel about Confess Fletch? I mean, you don't have the emotional connection I have to the character.
No.
You don't have that same kind of love for that stuff.
But I do like the character enough, especially watching the first one, to be excited.
Yeah, to see what John Hamm can do.
See what they'll do with it.
I mean, you haven't seen the trailer yet, have you?
Did I watch the trailer? I feel like I did, man, and it was kind of underwhelming.
I mean, the way he delivered some of the lines, like, who do you got to murder around here for coffee?
Yeah.
When he got into the car.
And maybe I can't remember it because I hadn't seen these yet, so I just wasn't making any sort of connection whatsoever. And now this is kind of clouding my memory.
Well, we should totally do Confess Fletch. We should go see it and then
we watch the trailer right now.
Go ahead, put it on.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Okay, what did you think?
The most exciting part of that trailer was Kyle MacLachlan.
That's Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Portlandia.
Yeah. And Blue Velvet.
You're not stoked? You don't think it'll be good? I mean, do you see what I mean by the way he delivers those things? Like, you can hear Chevy Chase's Fletch and how he would deliver it.
Yeah, but it's just not Chevy Chase.
And
that's the problem with trying to play what's supposed to be that character.
But that's what Chevy Chase did with that character. Now we got to see what John Hamm's going to do with that character.
That's true. But I think Chevy Chase is the character.
But that's because there's nobody else other than your imagination from the book.
But I feel like Chevy Chase is Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
In the way that
there's no Clark Griswold. Just like, yeah.
Right. It's
like
he's not playing a character. He's playing Chevy Chase.
Yeah. I mean, this is who Chevy Chase is. Like, that's why I always felt Fletch, because that's Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase, just like in Nothing But Trouble. Chevy Chase, just like in fucking Clark Griswold.
You name it.
Yeah. I mean, it's always that guy who is like, I'm not supposed to be here. And he's standing awkwardly, making awkward faces, just like applauding while everyone else is sitting down.
Yep.
And you're still standing up. Like, that is a Chevy Chase thing. So let's see what John Hamm's going to do with it. I mean, that's what Chevy Chase brought to the Fletch character. Let's see what John Hamm brings to the Fletch character.
Am I excited to see it? No.
I totally recommend watching Bridesmaids, but only watching John Hamm's parts. like on YouTube. Just look up John Hamm Bridesmaids and just watch all those clips.
Okay. Because
that's what makes John Hamm so funny. That's why I hated the fact that he was in Maverick so much, because he was so funny. And Maverick is that character is supposed to be like, Maverick, you're chapping my ass. Like, I can't see a comedic actor saying those things.
And maybe that's why I liked him in that role, is because I'm really not all that familiar with John Hamm. So
yeah,
I just know he's this heartthrob in the...
Well, apparently he did some fucked up shit in a fraternity back in the 90s when he was in college.
That's what you do.
So
right?
It almost makes you want to hate John Hamm.
Really? That fucked up?
Oh, dude, any hazing and bullying and like that type of bro type of mentality, that jock mentality.
You can grow out of that shit, though.
Well, apparently he lit this dude's clothes on fire while he was still in them.
I mean, it's
according
a little extreme.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. Have you apologized for that yet? No, he hasn't. So it's like, how are we going to move on from that when it comes to this movie? What if he continue? What if it does so well?
Hearsay.
And they're just
Hearsay.
like, well, I was just reading that there's so many. There was Kevin Smith was like even considering Dave Chappelle to be Fletch when he was working on the Fletch movie back in the early 2000s. And then 2014, it went to Jason Sudeikis to play Fletch.
Dave Chappelle, that would be something I'd be excited about.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that would be a different take on the character.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Might
sure.
be the only way it would work.
That's just why I think John Hamm is going to try to do what Chevy Chase did for the character. Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle is going to bring his flavor to it. John Hamm doesn't have flavor. He just has that like heartthrob, handsome. So when he says something dopey, it's silly.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle could bring the flavor and also kind of, not embrace, but not sure the word I'm looking for, but really capture,
honor the character,
the comedy.
Yeah. Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
Of the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally. I feel you. So, I mean, I guess what we should do is we formed an opinion on what it might be like, but we need to go into it with an open mind that it's about the book character, not the Chevy Chase character.
Yes, that's right.
And after we record this, I'm going to go to Second and Charles and see if they got any used copies of any of the Fletch books.
Look at you.
And I'm going to see what the character in the book is going to be like.
Getting it done.
Yeah. So let's read some IMDb 1-star reviews for one of my favorite fucking movies.
What? You wouldn't consider this one of your favorite
Oh, no,
movies.
that's true. I'm not going to consider Fletch Lives my favorite. One of my favorite. Fletch is definitely my favorite, but let's say 1-star reviews for one of my favorite characters in my least liked movie.
There you go.
Okay. All right. 1 stars. Here we go. This is a long one. Not very long, but it's from 2011, and it's called Bitter Bad Sequel. Fletch is back, and he's angry, irritable, and not funny. Too bad, because the first Fletch is Chevy Chase's best and funniest film. Unlike the previous plot line, which had interesting villains connected to a nitty film noir plot, this takes place down south, where Fletch takes on hillbilly, racist, and religious zealots, all the same in Hollywood standards. I mean,
I would agree with that review.
It's not done yet, but as far as the irritable, what is he irritated about?
Fletch being irritable?
Yeah.
It does kind of seem that way.
It did seem like he was irritated, like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, kind of.
His disguise ranged from a white-haired cleaning lady to a televangelist, all impossible to imagine anyone falling for.
Yeah.
I loved the Peggy Lee Zorpa in the beginning. I think it's funny that this old guy with Coke bottle glasses couldn't see that it was clearly a man in a wig.
Mm-hmm.
Peggy Lee.
Yeah.
Peggy Lee Zorpa. And before moving south, where his dead aunt left him a decapitated yet sought-after mansion, Fletch crosses paths with his ex-wife's lawyer and newspaper editor, and this time around his glib indifference is bitter and downright aggressive. By far one of the crappiest sequels of all time.
Well, thank you for the synopsis, and I would agree with that. I'm still giving it a 3 based off the character, based off the attempt.
I mean, I'm going to agree as well because his interaction with Gillette in his apartment is completely different than his interaction with Gillette in his apartment in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was playing basketball, he just seemed slow, annoyed, didn't care.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in the first one, he's like, hits him in the head, draws the foul. Like he just plays with him the whole time. And this one, he just couldn't be bothered that he was there.
Yeah.
The first one, after he leaves, he opens a can of Coors and immediately falls asleep and dreams of being a Laker.
Yeah.
What can I say about Fletch? And then there's only one more 1-star review.
Oh, we were going to mention they're both PG.
No, they're both
as
PG,
well.
yeah, which they should have been PG-13.
Now they would be.
Now they would be because they did say bullshit, son of a bitch.
You got the Ku Klux Klan.
The
as well.
yeah.
I mean,
Gene Hackman, kick your ass. He's speaking some African dialect. Zulu. Last one. Nope. Sexist, racist, and not funny in the least. I cringed the whole thing.
I probably liked it better than that guy.
Yeah, I know. They really hated it.
Yeah.
Well, that was from 2018. So I'm sure at the sight of a rebel flag and a swastika just triggered so many people.
A 6. I'm surprised you would give this a 6.
Like I said, it's nostalgia that gives me the 6.
Yeah.
It's the repeating the lines that we shouldn't have been repeating as children. You know,
Yeah.
I was 9 years old when I saw this movie, 9 or
Right.
10. You
Yeah.
know, and I thought the lines were really funny. As a kid, but watching it now as an adult, some of it maybe not so much.
A little flat.
I mean, the scene still holds up when he's the exterminator and he's like, they multiply by masturbation.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were definitely lots
sure.
of funny moments, but all the other ones that weren't quite as funny were funnier then, and that's why they still hold to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's my review of Fletch Lives, and I cannot wait to see Confess Fletch.
I'll watch it.
And
that's to
because we're
please
going to have
you.
to talk about it. Thank you. All right, like and subscribe and all that shit.
Please
Hit the
do.
bells, hit the follow, so it turns from follow to following. The bell goes from unhighlighted to highlighted. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube at Sequilibrium Podcast. Yeah. 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously embellish on this podcast on your review the way I embellished on how good this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's all I ask of you. Chad doesn't have anything to ask for. He's pretty okay.
I've got nothing to say.
All right.
Fletch Lives. I feel like our episode was better than the movie.
Oh, that's so kind of you to say. Well, we're not quite as witty or charming as the man Fletch himself.
Probably so.
Thanks for everybody. Bye.
Sequilibrium, sequilibrium. Two guys sound like they're sucking helium. Sequilibrium, sequilibrium. Sitting on their freaking bums.
That's Chad's impression of Ice Cubes for me.
No, that's popcorn.
Oh, that's the sound of popcorn. Pop, 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 pop. Last time I went to the movies, I went to. I saw Bodies, Bodies, Bodies in the movie theater. That was awesome. That was a really good movie. I highly recommend it to everybody. A24. Fuck yeah. Nope. When I went and saw Nope in the theater, I told the dude, yeah, I want butter and I want it layered. But I didn't say it like that. All aggressive. I said, yeah, man, can you layer it for me too? He almost took that maybe as me going like, hey, fuck you. Put a little bit more on there before he gave it to me. Because when he did give it to me, it was great. But minutes later, I pick it up off the little tray that you have at your seat. And it's a fucking pool of butter. No joke, dude. And then I'm like, I'm going to fucking eat this. I don't give a shit. I love movie theater butter popcorn. It's awesome. I get to the bottom. No joke, dude. Fucking pool. You tilt it to the side and it just filled that little corner.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked to go see Confess Fletch and eat movie theater popcorn.
Yeah, I can tell. You know, you mentioned A24. What would have made more sense than us going to see Confess Fletch, because, sir, this is not a sequel, nor is this a prequel. This is its own thing, as we mentioned on a previous episode.
Totally.
But
This is like a gift for me.
In the theater, there's a movie called Pearl. I have not seen.
It's a prequel to X. Yeah.
Yes, but apparently it's a prequel to that.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
The X.
So does X.
I haven't-
Looks really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen X, and X just looks fucking fantastic. And every time I've held it to buy it, because I really want to own it, I just feel the person who's ringing me up is going to judge me for buying. Like, yeah, I know it's based around pornography in the 70s, but it's also kind of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
No, it looks really good.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they're supposed to be doing a third, too, by the way. They're supposed to be doing a third one.
My point is, maybe we should skip Confess Fletch.
Fuck you. No. No, I waited since I told you when they announced that Kevin Smith was thinking about doing this back in the 90s. I've waited for a new Fletch movie.
I know.
And this is technically book number 2. So it's
know.
the sequel to the first book, which is Fletch.
How far did you get in
I think
Confess
I'm
Fletch?
like page 70. You know, it's still barely in there. So, you know, the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Something you enjoyed, though?
Oh,
The book?
100%. I'm reading
Yeah.
it with Chevy Chase's voice in my head, though, so I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure for this movie. I'm adding in those extra lines that Fletch always drops in after he says something. He'll like say something else, like you know, when he responded to the maid in the first movie. So like I'm always adding a little something to what he says because the responses are so quick. But if you read them in a specific way, they're funny. So yeah. So I'm just like, I don't know if I'm setting myself up for failure, but I'm pretty fucking stoked to see it.
I know. I can tell.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
It's
There's another movie in the theater that I would rather see than Confess Fletch right now. Can you guess the one? My daughter just told me about it.
Batman Returns. It's actually playing at the.
Is it really?
Yeah,
the lyric or what?
No, at the Cinemark they're doing Mask of the Phantasm, Batman '89, and Batman Returns.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why those three?
Could be a celebration for something. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Black Adam coming in.
No, The Barbarian, I think.
Oh
is the
yeah,
name
I've
of
heard
it.
great
Yeah.
things about that movie.
Same.
Yeah. What's that new one? The Queen God or God Queen or something? I was telling you about that I really wanted to see. And then there's like a whole shit ton of movies at the theater that I want to see, but Confess Fletch takes precedence.
That's what we're going to see. Confess Fletch.
All right, we got to get going though.
All
right.
Let's go.
All right. We're going to smoke a joint.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Confess, Chad. What did you think of Confess Fletch?
Underwhelming.
You laughed numerous times. That's a good sign. That meant something to me. When you chuckled a little bit.
There were definitely moments where, like we said, they were able to capture the comedy that I was hoping for. I know they'll come to me, but there were a couple that really got to me.
Oh, I know. I was trying to think about them. I was trying to remember them, and that's what causes me to forget them.
Yeah.
It's because you put so much pressure on yourself to remember that moment. And the one that I could remember the most is Mignon peeing whenever she was hungry. Right. And I thought that was so funny because what did he say? Something like, don't we all? Or something.
Yeah, right.
To like classic Fletch response to any stupid situation.
Yeah.
I think John Hamm did a fantastic job in being Fletch.
I think he did an adequate job.
I mean, again, I can't put it to words because I haven't read the books, that much. based off of what I've read in the dialogue that Fletch had in this movie, they were kind of similar, almost like seasoned more, like peppered with more humor, more sarcasm than in the book.
I will admit, multiple times I thought about Chevy Chase delivering the lines he was delivering.
Definitely.
The mannerisms, everything. I just kind of envisioned Chevy Chase in that role, and it was better.
Definitely.
It was better.
Definitely. There was. Didn't I say something to you like that's a Chevy Chase moment or something in the movie?
Yeah.
It was early on, like him tripping over something or like responding to something.
Yeah.
And that was like Chevy Chase's thing, was like falling always, and like that was his like move.
God, I wish I could remember the line that got to me at the end, because I was literally laughing about it minutes after it was delivered.
By who?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Oh my god, this is why we don't pregame before these things. I'm seeing it Wednesday, so maybe I'll remember.
Maybe it was towards the end.
It's towards the end.
Yeah, it was an interaction between two of them, so it was like the setup and then the punch.
Him and Frank.
It was a double whammy.
Him and Frank.
I don't know.
Did you like this Frank more than you liked the Frank in the other one?
I think I liked him about the same, which is surprising.
I mean, they were both.
He did
good,
a really good job. Yeah, I love that when he called him. He's like, "Why'd you send me that shitty painting?" And
just
threw it in the trash.
and the part where he's like, no amount of money is going to make me go back, and he's like, well, you're in luck because this roughly pays nothing.
That's actually
that's the line.
Yeah, that's it.
This roughly pays nothing.
That's good. That was pretty fucking clever. I thought.
I mean, I was so stoked for it, right? I was so excited. I totally was like all about this movie, and I don't feel let down, because I think I kind of went in with it with lower expectations.
Sure, naturally.
Still, I hope they do a sequel.
Do you?
To it. I hope they do another Fletch movie.
You said this was like the second in the book series. Correct.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah,
so, what was the first one called?
The first one was called Fletch.
Okay,
and it was based on the same thing of the guy wanting him to kill him and all that.
So,
stuff.
do you think they should have just rebooted by remaking the original?
No, I mean, I haven't read the book, so I really, as far as like continuity goes, I'm unfamiliar with it, because the first one, I don't know if he's Jane Doe. I haven't read it. I haven't read it yet. I know he is a reporter, and that was like the whole thing, doing the drugs on the beach. I don't know how he ended up being a freelance writer moving into the second book. I knew that was going to be it in the movie. I knew he wasn't an art person. I knew it was going to be one of these, like, this is my cover, so I can do this separately. But I was kind of bummed that the pen name was Ralph Locke and not Jane Doe.
Oh,
I love that. Like, yeah, right underneath the pen name Jane Doe. I always thought that was so funny.
Larry for the assistant.
Yeah. But here's the other thing: is what he said. Did you bring anyone from the L.A. office? And he said just this guy, but Larry worked in the L.A. office. So it's like, why wouldn't it have been like, yeah, I brought Larry with me. She's a great secretary.
Yeah.
Or something. You know, like that would have been rad.
The one line.
Yeah,
I already planned on murdering one person tonight. What makes you think I won't murder two?
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. I was so stoked on that. I was like so fucking stoked.
And Kyle MacLachlan's still maybe my favorite part of the movie. I really liked him.
Oh, he was great.
I really liked Grizz. I thought she was great.
Classic noir.
Cute. Like automatic crush on her. So she was able to make the entire movie for me.
That's all you cared about the movie. You just kind of like just drooled over here, like waiting for the next scene when she spills a milkshake on herself.
Right.
I
do feel like, I mean, the lines were there, but there certainly
the delivery wasn't the same.
The delivery wasn't the same, and there weren't as many that hit.
Yes. It was like a lot of the interactions with Eve was long. It was lengthy, and the jokes weren't coming as fast as they would if it were like the first Fletch movie. You know, that's why I said the movie should have just been 20 minutes shorter. I would have been happier with. I mean, I'm not disappointed whatsoever. I think it would have been a much better movie if it was like a straight hour and 25. Because those movies are really good too.
I agree with that.
You know?
Maybe even 120.
I mean, it was a great noir story where it was two crimes that always bled into the one, just like Fletch being murder on the beach or drugs on the beach, and then all this shit with hiring him to kill. What the fuck is his name? Stanton.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second one was dumping the toxic waste and why his aunt signed over Belle Isle to Fletch. Not crimes, but cases or two things that seem separate but really are one. Mm-hmm. Just like in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, man. Fucking love those movies. Shane Black needs to write some more noir stuff. Like Nice Guys was awesome.
Yeah.
So if Shane Black, if you could write the next Fletch movie, thank you. It would be amazing. How rad would that be if Fletch was played by fucking Nick Gosling?
Right.
Or Ryan Gosling? Nick Gosling is a dude I went to high school with. Ryan Gosling.
Well, when you say you want them to make a sequel, though, you do want Ham to still be the actor playing the role.
Yeah,
correct?
totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Shane Black wrote it, that's who would be Fletch. Yeah. Would be Ryan Gosling for sure.
But
he's got that charming wit, just like fucking Chevy Chase.
I'm hoping for a sequel. Simply, maybe we can justify this episode. You know what I mean?
Oh, so there's reason
they
had to have done this.
Bring it back around.
This is my own fucking ego. I have a podcast. I want to talk about Fletch. We're gonna do Fletch.
It was my idea. I made the podcast. Yeah, it was good. I'm happy we went.
Me too.
I enjoyed it.
Like you said, I kind of feel like. I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, there's other movies at the theater that we could have done. Like we really could have done Pearl, which we still could, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I'm not against it next weekend.
You know, it's funny since we both haven't seen X, it might be interesting to go see Pearl. And then watch X together, and then record the podcast.
I don't know. That's a long ass day, and we did that before.
We don't have to do that all in one day.
We got so fucking pooped. I might just buy X. I might just get over it. Just go fucking buy it.
Yeah.
And I know I'm gonna like it. I know I'm gonna watch it a few times.
You think?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, you're so quick to judge a movie before you see it.
That's so true. But like, I mean, A24 does not disappoint, and everything I've read about the reviews for X it's fucking awesome.
Right. This is true.
So I'm not against it. And then we could do Pearl. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything else to jump into about Fletch. This will be like a little nice short one, mostly because I'm a little tired.
I can tell.
Yeah, I can tell on you too, bitch. Yeah, so let me read some IMDb shit and not open Spotify by accident. I had it like queued up too. Oh yeah, I thought Underhill was in it, but I'm like, that guy's so fucking old. Why do I think he'd be in this movie? I was just like being so hopeful. Or at least some like mention of Underhill, like Underhill Painting LLC in the background or something.
Right.
Oh, not Fletch Lives. Confess.
So what do
Fletch.
you rate this?
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was thinking 7.
I'm going with 4.5.
You're going with 4.5? Really?
4.5.
Wow, you didn't like it at all.
I did.
Oh,
4.5.
No, you hated it.
4.5.
You're like, I don't give a shit about
that's
this.
an entertaining watch.
What about Eugene Merman? You not give a shit about Eugene Merman? He was so funny in that. He was the security guard at the yacht club and telling everyone how he's allergic to shellfish and nobody gives a shit. God, it was so funny.
It was
so funny.
It was. There were a few scenes that, I don't know, just kind of stood out. That the one where he's speaking with the wife the blonde, the long
Tatiana,
straight blonde hair.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking funny.
Oh, that was hilarious when
Yeah.
he was pretending to be the style editor.
Yep.
Yeah, he did great character cover work.
Yeah.
You know, to infiltrate shit.
Just none of the like imposter. He didn't dress up.
Not like
For
Chevy
each
Chase with the
character.
prosthetics
Right,
and the fake teeth and the wigs and the
Yeah.
dressing like Peggy Lee Zorpa.
Yeah. It wasn't over the top. It was just like, okay, I'm this
Well,
person
I mean-
now. I'm this person now.
I don't think he was like, planning to do any of that shit, especially with the murder investigation. He was only there to like try to find the paintings.
Yeah. IMDb reviews. Let's go.
Oh man, but it was so good. Like maybe that's what I should do in these like type of instances is try to convince you that they're good. Like the scene where he has the gun, like, and he drops it in the water. That's so fucking funny. But
It's good. It's good.
but also at the same time, I want to hate it because I'm like, why did you show that? Is it going to come back at all? You focus it falling in the water. Like, is Fletch going to be like, in this moment of need, reach in the water and pull out the gun and fucking shoot dude from Twin Peaks? You know what I mean?
Right.
So fucking stupid.
Well, I didn't even find that as strange as the fact that they just brought the gun into the scenario to begin with.
Yeah, when Andy's like, Fletch, you need to get a gun. Okay, where's the scene of him acquiring this gun?
Yeah.
That's what happened a lot that I mean, maybe I should stop fucking praising something so well when there's like obvious legitimate complaints. Like when scenes transition happen, it seems like we missed something.
Yep.
Didn't it feel like that where it's like immediately it's the next fucking day and he's walking down the street? Like I'd love to see him on the phone calling a cab being like, hey, I'm at this address, but can you meet me at this address? Because I'm going to fucking try to run from the cops.
Yeah.
No, you just assume he's like running from them, but he's got an Uber waiting just down the block. Yeah, it's good. It's good. You should watch it. All right. I want to read what the absolute hatred for this movie is going to be. There's only 464, it says on here. And for some reason, it didn't want to open again. Yeah, I'm stoked to see it on again next week, so maybe I won't hate it as much. Come on, why won't it let me open? Yeah, seriously. Well, maybe because people haven't written reviews, but it won't let me open.
That leaves us in a tough spot.
That does leave us in a tough spot. That's a bit of a bummer. Well, I was hoping someone would have some fucking hate for it, but it doesn't apparently seem like I'm able to
Do Rotten Tomatoes
read
instead.
some
Let's switch it up.
reviews. All right.
Let's switch it up. I'm going to guess the Rotten Tomatoes score is 72%.
You remember what I told you on the first day, right?
No.
Or it was 2 days before. It was 91.
Oh,
Pearl has an 86.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And X has like 93.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean, dude. Fucking, what's $20 then at that point?
$20.
It's fucking righteous bucks, dude. All right. What did you say it is?
72.
84.
Huh. That's way higher than I would expect.
Yeah, I mean, there's reviews, but it's not fun. Like, it's just critic reviews. It's not like fucking Weekend Warrior on IMDb, like that guy who's like, I've been off IMDb for 2 days.
Yeah.
On that one, what was that? BHC3.
Yep.
I mean, it was fucking dope, dude. Obviously, everything sucks.
It was fun.
Has elements of suckage. Alien wasn't great from start to fucking finish.
Oh, what could have made it better?
20 minutes less, dude. Just like tighten it up. Stop stretching scenes so much. I think the fucking inspector was awesome. He meshed really well with Fletch. The back and forth between them was really funny.
Chevy Chase cameo at the very end.
That would have been awesome as Underhill.
Yeah.
With an Underhill American Express card, like, or something, like, oh, sir, you forgot this, Mr. Underhill. And then then Chevy Chase turns around.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty rad. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad we're in agreement on that. That's pretty rad. I'm kind of bummed that you were not stoked on it. I mean, I was pretty stoked. There were some moments where I tried to fall asleep a little bit.
But see, it was better than I was expecting.
That's good.
Even at a 4.5. It's pretty good, buddy. 4.5.
That's pretty good.
Confess Fletch.
We didn't talk about the fact that the fucking trailer glitched out and we had to watch Smile trailer twice. And then they threw in a fucking short one at the very last second.
I feel like it's some marketing thing.
I mean, I've seen that Smile trailer for a long time now.
Yeah.
And I don't know a fucking goddamn thing about it. Like, is it supposed to be like The Grudge or The Ring or some fucking shit and everyone just smiles like a bunch of idiots?
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty good. Somebody's good at making trailers anyway, because I wouldn't mind seeing it.
I mean, the only reason why I want to see it is complete curiosity.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, watching Confess Fletch, it's like, who are you making it for? You're making it for me. So that's why I want to see this type of shit. But who are you fucking making Smile for?
Yeah.
The only people you're grabbing is like the people who are curious. It's like that Simpsons, Gabbo, Gabbo, Gabbo. And everyone's like, oh, I can't wait.
It's funny, just you and I in the theater and one other guy.
Yeah, totally.
Who naturally had a baseball cap, looked like he was probably in his prime when the first Fletch came out.
Totally. For a minute, I thought it was Frank undercover, seeing how the turnout in Fort Collins, Colorado was. Yeah, I really was like not expecting anyone to be in that theater. That was pretty funny. It's such a huge theater to have it in, too.
Yeah.
And I think when I go see it again, I think I'm going to select the 205 option where I can watch it with closed captioning. I got to have my subtitles. I got to hear what Andy and what's his name were having a conversation in the boat where you can like barely make it out, but the subtitles will pick it up.
Admittedly, yeah, there were, I would say, a handful of lines, probably more than the typical movie, that I couldn't understand. I couldn't make out. Mm-hmm. Just little bits, words.
Turn around and yell at the projector. Can you turn it up?
Yeah.
Reminded, I couldn't make that last thing out.
You have dreams of this, don't you? This is your fantasy, to be able to go to a movie theater and just control the movie.
Fuck yeah, dude. I keep thinking about that, like, if a panel comes up from the seat and it's got fucking volume control, fast forward and rewind and all that shit, like potty break mode, where like you pause it and everyone has to just shut the fuck up and deal with it.
But you realize you'd have to shut up and deal with it.
But that's the thing. Potty mode brings up like refresh of your drinks and popcorn.
Okay.
Or a pizza bagel bite.
Potty mode, but what's the capacity of this theater?
20 people.
20 people.
20 people.
Okay, so there's still that possibility. Let's say half those people, let's say 10 of those people have to get up and go to the restroom.
Yeah.
Let's assume that a restroom break is 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
That's 50 minutes right there that you're adding to the runtime. Brilliant idea, buddy. I'm just saying there might...
That's why we only show them one time a day.
This is like your butter dispenser idea on the back of the seats.
Each movie only shows at 11 o'clock. It's like lyric size theater rooms, right?
Okay.
Following me?
Yep.
Okay. And you just plan out the day to chill, And if it ends early, it ends early. If it ends on time, it ends on time. If it fucking goes further, but you got pizza bagels. Every time someone has to go to the bathroom. So by the end of the fucking show, you ate like 50 pizza bagels. Who's going to complain about that? Who's going to complain about that? You saw a movie for $10.50.
You stayed there for 7.5 hours.
Stayed there for 7.5 hours, but you got pizza bagels.
Huh.
Because when you got pizza bagels, you got pizza at any time.
It's quite the pitch.
I'm telling you, dude. And then the popcorn dispenser behind the seats. How fucking sick. You tell the people, I want layered popcorn.
You're saying
layered butter. And they say, deal. That sounds awesome. You know how to eat your movie theater popcorn. And I'm like, yes, I do. And then you take a bite of the first layer and it's fucking sick. And then you get to the second layer and it starts tasting like cardboard. And you're like, this isn't layered. So then you reach over in front of your chair, just squirt, 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 squirt. A little butter on that and then sit right back down.
I'm thinking about the slick floor when you get up to walk away.
It happens. But that's why you don't pay your people minimum wage. You pay the movie theater workers like $10 an hour or $20 an hour.
Woo, buddy, don't get out of hand there.
$20 an hour. And then as a consumer, you have unlimited popcorn, unlimited butter. That's like almost zero food cost.
Mm-hmm.
So you could charge $15 for a ticket and get away with it. No, being a consumer, knowing you're going to get unlimited this shit that doesn't cost you that much money. Mm-hmm. You're really just paying for the experience.
Yeah. No
one's paying $2.50 for the experience of Reese's Pieces in their mouth.
Yeah.
That's why you should go back to the movie theaters. I was trying to come up with an argument for people to actually start going to the movie theaters.
And
I missed those long lines.
With?
Fucking butter dispenser behind the chairs. If someone told you could go to your favorite movie theater and have as much butter on your popcorn as you wanted at your will, you're telling me you wouldn't want to flock to it? To see, like, they're showing Sandlot and it's presented by Willie, or not Willie, what the fuck was that kid's name who was really good? Freddie? Benny! Benny! And Benny's going to present the movie, and it's going to cost you like $20 a ticket, but you have like all this fucking hot-ass butter to put on your popcorn? You're fucking dope as shit.
You know those 4-packs of stick butter that you get at the grocery store?
Mm-hmm.
Like $3.48 right now.
Yeah.
Too much, really.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Oh,
but anyway,
God,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Next time you go to the theater,
mm-hmm.
I'm thinking you just need to take a stick of butter. Or take all 4 sticks of butter. And for each, 3 inches that you eat, you can just
drop a
melt.
stick in.
Can just melt another stick over the top.
What if I give it to the poor people working at the counter and be like, excuse me, can you put these between each layer? But also with the butter pump? Can you still put butter pump in there too? And this sweet cream, it's okay. It's no unsalted butter. I'm all right with it. I could do that. Be like that weirdo who goes to the restaurant and brings his own salad dressing, but I bring my own butter to the movies. I have a stick in one hand and a handful of popcorn in the other. And I'm taking a bite of one and then I'm taking a bite of the other.
Oh, man.
I really was tempted to ask you for some of your M&Ms to put in my popcorn.
Oh, you should have, because I threw half the box away.
What?
I did.
What?
Why wouldn't you just ask?
Because I wasn't going to offer you.
You silly goose.
I wasn't going to offer you any of my popcorn.
Buddy, if I wanted popcorn, I would have gotten some fucking popcorn, all right? Those almonds held me over.
Yeah, this fucking guy, this fucking dad with his almonds. Who fucking brings almonds to the movie theater?
I did have a large soda, though. I never drink soda. It was a nice little treat for me.
What kind did you get?
Mr. Pibb. I think it's
all
just called
about the Pibb Extra.
I think it's just called
It's
Pibb
just
Extra. Yeah,
Pibb Extra. Dude,
I like Mr. Pibb, though.
I'm jealous. I'm a diet drinker. I've been a diet soda drinker for a while now. Yeah, if I'm gonna drink soda, it's got to be diet. Soda for me. It's just like it's fucking Frank the Tank type of situation. As soon as it touches the lips, dude. Especially Pibb Extra with all those spices.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a sucker for Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb. I like the formal guys. Keep your fucking wackadoo Mountain Dew shit. Fucking all those crazy ass flavors. Flamin' Hot Cheeto flavor, Mountain Dew. Get the fuck out of here.
Here, let's recreate that commercial right now. You be the soda pouring into the cup, and I'll be the popcorn. Ready? Go.
That's ice cubes. All right, this is going nowhere. Thanks for listening to our Confess Fletch episode. It's coming out at the same time as BHC3. Listen to one or the other. Mm-hmm. Follow Instagram at Sequilibrium Podcast. YouTube. What is the YouTube? Is it just Equilibrium Podcast?
Yeah, just search
Do I
it
ask
up.
you every time?
You know, I think you have to have a certain number of subscribers before you can have
An ad?
a specific URL.
Let's get some followers on that shit. We have what, 34?
34.
That's pretty dope.
It's not bad.
Who the fuck are we? 34 people find
Yeah.
value in it. I know one of them's me.
Well, I would say 3 or 4 of those people find value in it. You know.
I mean, they get tons of views right now, aren't they? Tons being like tens.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In single digits at the very least.
Fuck yeah, single digits. One or none. That's what I'm about. And what else do we have?
Puppet Master 2.
Puppet Master
I feel
2.
like we need to do Puppet Master 3. Just to
let's
gain a little popularity.
Why not then? I've been forcing you to do all these other ones.
Yeah, you know, I do feel like I deserve the next pick, and
You
I'm
totally
not
deserve
going to decide it right now in this episode. You got to give me a little time to think.
No, man, you can't
You
fucking
gotta
drop
give
the
me
ball
a
on me.
little time to think, and maybe I just won't tell you.
It's gonna have to something to do with almonds.
You come over
probably.
next week, it'll be a surprise.
Don't I have to watch the first one?
Well, do you ever watch the fucking first one?
Unless I haven't watched it enough for a lifetime. You calling me out on that was so fucking funny.
On what?
On saying I've watched it enough for a lifetime. Yeah, you got to give me enough time to watch the first one.
Okay. I'll let you know.
Depending on what it is. If it's one that you think I don't need to,
Okay.
you know. But then there's also some that you would assume I've seen that I've never seen, like Beethoven.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do Beethoven the second, sorry, pal. I've never seen Beethoven. All right, you just let me know.
I will.
And then we'll let you know, the listeners. And then you let us know by emailing us at sequilibriumpodcast@gmail.com. How many times have you listened to this show, and where have you listened to the show the most, right? Isn't that a good subject, table topic
That's adorable.
for them? All right,
Yeah.
that's perfect. I promise to check the email, and if there's nobody there, then there's nobody there. Thanks
You're
for
a
listening.
fucking salesman,
Yeah.
aren't you?
This has been Confess Fletch with Mike and Chad.
Yeah, that's what it's been.
Bye.